Hello everybody and welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. As you know, and as I announced, I will be gone for 2 weeks, but now I'm finally back because I was casting the Prince Cup Pacific and I had a wonderful time. What a wonderful competition for Genshin Impact. But that is all over and now we're back to our regularly scheduled program. Now, being away for 2 weeks, man, I missed a lot of content for Wuthering Waves. Of course, I still played the game, I still got my asteroids, but there is plenty of stuff to look at. Number one being that the Turquoise Moonglow, or version 1.2, is right around the corner, so that is super duper exciting. I'm excited to finally have a chance to look at these characters. Maybe I'm not the most interested. Xiangli Yao looks pretty cool, and then Zhezhi, maybe not so much, but wonderful art. They had a very nice way of teasing it by slowly building it up over the days. We even got female rovers, so they're rotating between the two rovers for each version art, and I think that's wonderful. But of course, there is, when a new update comes around, there's always the next thing that is on the horizon, and that is the drip marketing. I kind of wish they waited a little longer, but regardless, it's here, and let's take a quick look at it. It is 1.3, the Shorekeeper, and of course, I did see this on Twitter, didn't read any of it though, so let's see what it actually says. Now, of course, the Black Shores, they did say that our next location would probably be the Black Shores. I'm surprised we're going here this soon, but it doesn't make that much not sense, if that's not even a sentence. Come on now, man. Because Black Shores was already kind of a thing in the first beta. Of course, we couldn't actually do anything there, but it was there, and now they kind of pushed it back because, like, hey, maybe we want to keep a little bit of the mystery. And the really cool thing about the Shorekeeper is that she's got this butterfly motif, and if you look in the first trailer, there's a butterfly flying everywhere across it, so that's really cool. Probably some butterfly effect motifs. Of course, got that really cool design, got the hood, got this beautiful dress. The Shorekeeper, this name suits me well enough. It aligns with my purpose and tribe. They only exist because of you. Ooh, okay, very interesting. Let's see her little bit of a description over here. The Shorekeeper of the Black Shores is a mysterious divine being governing the essential aloofness emerges in response to your summon. Having spent eons in guardianship, the first time stirring of emotions and desires awakened within her heart, fostering a firm determination to connect with the world and with you. Okay, so the Shorekeeper is super important. We know that our past as the rover is tied to the Black Shore, so this will be interesting. And of course, this is probably the quote-unquote like deity that Alto was talking about. He's like, ah, yes, the Shorekeeper, our best person, our grand deity. This will be really interesting. Hopefully she has an awesome kit too. If you know, Jinzhou is anything to go by, you know, by having awesome kit design, and Xiangli as well. You know, she's probably gonna have some insane animations, and I hope they use the butterfly motif to its full extent, because you can do a lot with butterflies and the wonderful effects. Just look at like Demon Slayer, look at Fire Emblem Heroes. They do all kinds of crazy stuff with that, so that's great. Now there's another character I'm sure not many people are interested, but of course we read everything, so you don't have to, so let's go ahead. Youhu, I think. Youhu, I don't know. You can roast me in the comments if I get it wrong, but here you go, a special edition of my poetry collection, hand signed by moi. You're welcome. Okay, sure. Okay, sure, buddy. Youhu, a natural expert in identifying antiques and a capable speaker of distinctive taste. When dealing with treasures and antiques, the jubilant dynamo settles into a calm perception, tracing the distant past through the wrinkles and texture. Okay, so this is definitely a 4-star, bro. Brother, definitely a 4-star. Also, definitely a glacial unit or ice type unit. Come on, look at that pendant. You know, like Wuwa does have the sort of trend of not really following you know, whatever their characters' color schemes are. They just kind of fit whatever they are, you know, and works out. Like Xiangli Yao, I believe, is Electro, but his outfit is entirely white, getting you to blink. He's probably a glacier unit. No, he's not. But yes, there it is. She's cool, I guess. I mean, hopefully she does something interesting, right? Because we do have a lot of roles to fill in the support category. And, you know, characters like these tend to be a support type. Of course, Encore is the one exception. But yeah, I guess you're cool. Probably will, you know, make use of you somehow. But yeah, there's the other character. But now let's move on to the developer notes, which is super duper exciting. I saw tons of hype on this. Wuthering Waves developer message volume 4 1.2 optimizations with special notes. I love that they're doing this. You know, it's not something uncommon, right? But you know, Genshin does this, but sometimes they drop the ball and sometimes they do it really well. But overall, it's always good to have dev notes and them talking about, you know, Zenless also started doing this. HSR does do this, but they're not as, you know, overwhelming or as pronounced because they actually add QLO every time. But yes, let's talk about this one. Here we go. 1.2, this is gonna be custom lock on feature. So this will be interesting because there's some heavily debated talk about this one. In version 1.1, we implemented several quality of life improvements to the auto lock-on system, including optimizations for resonators, some skills. Released in version 1.2, you'll gain access to the new custom lock-on feature in the setting control. This option allows you to set your auto lock-on priorities, enemies based on your combat preference. Lock-on priority, movement direction, camera direction, and distance. Okay, that's interesting. So movement direction seems to be the default, so wherever you move, so let's say I'm facing one enemy as GN, but then I pivot towards the other enemy and I'm closer to that one, and instead my skill will target that one. Camera direction, that would be, you know, you have to move your mouse or you to drag your finger across the screen, and then whatever way you're basically your center point, like let's say Minecraft is the best way I can describe this. You know how you have a reticle in Minecraft at all times, and your crosshair, and wherever you point, that's where you're probably gonna move if you do certain lock-ons. And then distance is weird, because I mean it's basically just measure coordinates, and you know, thankfully Wuthering Waves has coordinate system available to you, but you know, it just measures the distance between each enemy. So it's like, okay, you know, this enemy is XYZ far and this enemy is XYZ far, this one counts as closer, so we're gonna go to XYZA. So that's fun. Good that we have this. I think in general, like, because I think Wuwa had pretty good lock-on priorities, except of course when it started bugging out. But in general, I think all these games, literally going through, you know, Hoyoverse and also this game, I think they all just struggle with lock-on features, you know? Like Genshin, of course, you know, has its issues because it has no lock-on feature. Zenless tries to have it, but it still has really bad auto-targeting priorities. And then on mobile, you just can't, you're forced to auto-target, which is cringe. And then in Wuwa, I think it's decent, but then of course the bugs happen, so then it doesn't look as good as it should be. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Good to see. Hopefully it actually works well, though. We have to test it and see you know, how well it works. I'm probably gonna stick with the default, but if for whatever reason I need to change it, I mean, hey, the option's there. So it's great that they're still trying to address the problem to find a clean way to fix it, because I think it's pretty clear it's just really hard to design it within this game. Maybe it's a result of the engine or something like that, but you know, I'm sure there is a game, you know, that's not a non-gacha game that's figured out the sauce, as you would say, to figure out why lock-ons are so annoying. But the next one here, number 2, utility hover droid shooter. We've heard your feedback about regarding needing to switch resonators all the time for pistol trials and not having resonators variables like the photon volt and similar puzzles in 1.2. You'll be able to use the new hover droid shooter utility. Once the utilities feature is available, you can equip the hover droid shooter and the utility wheel to shoot the hover droid. Simply tap or hold basic attack button. More hover droid features are under development. We hope this new edition will help you better explore Solar. So this is great. I agree only to the extent, basically, you know, there's a bunch of challenges just like Genshin Impact where, or, you know, very similar to Breath of the Wild, that there's a challenge where you need to solve it with a bow and arrow. And, you know, just like Genshin Impact, they had that same concept go through. And now in this game, of course, we have guns, but they basically act like bows, except you can shoot in the air, which is pretty cool. But of course, the big issue with this is that you need to actually switch your party to make sure it actually functions. And you know, this is okay for me, right? Of course, you start with Chisa, so you always have Chisa accessible, and you know, but kind of becomes a meme that the 2 fire characters at the start, you know, except Chisa actually has a good kit, so you know, there's the difference there between Amber. Of course, we don't hate Amber, but it is a little bit annoying. I don't think it's that bad, but I think the problem that comes in with it is the fact that, you know, there aren't a lot of gun resonators coming out in the first place, or pistol resonators, I should say, because we have Chisa, we have Alto, and then, I mean, like, am I forgetting anybody? To be honest, I don't even know, because I wouldn't know. But those are the only, like, 2 pistol resonators. Oh, wait, no, more Tefi. Okay, more Tefi. Okay, hold on, actually. But those are kind of the only few I can think of the top of my head, you know, like that's not good, because if they're not planning on adding more pistol resonators for a long time, it's better to just have this, so that way people don't have to switch their party, because at least there's no load screen. But you know, it still is annoying to have to switch you know, your party up just for that, and then they kick them out again because they're probably like level 1 Omega Lol. But this is just a sign, hey, I mean, it's good regardless, but hey, add more pistol resonators, we'd really like that. Anyway, number 3, new features to store excess wave plates. Oh baby, we are eating good, my friends. Once you reach the wave plate cap, you'll be able to receive wave plate crystals instead. These crystals can be exchanged for wave plate with the equivalent value. You will regenerate 1 wave plate crystal every 12 minutes, up to 4,108 wave plates. Once this limit is reached, you will not gain additional wave plate crystals. So this is a lower limit than Honkai Star Rail, which allows you to store up to 2,400, but of course that makes sense. This one This game does not require that you want to constantly have an overabundance of resin or just stamina, daily get gacha game stamina. So the limit, the idea is the same. Simply you double the current rate, which is 12 minutes, a little less than double, but it's pretty close. And then you have a limit of 480. But regardless, what this means is that I think you can effectively, let's see here, you get like 240. I think you can skip up to 1 to 2 days of farming with this if you're truly in a rush. And this is great, right? Because I play all of these gacha games pretty adamantly, but I'm definitely at the point, especially with going on, like business trips and stuff, that at some point I do have to like put the game down and not look at it. And this is great. It's always good to have these features, and it's not an act of desperation to try and keep up, because the truth is that there's not really a point in trying to force your audience to log on literally every single day. Of course, there is like a lot of reason to it, but there's always a thing that I call in gacha games that's stretching your audience too thin. Is that if you push them to be too thin, like kind of like Genshin Impact, where they refuse to add a system like this, and they will only increase the resin to make it so it doesn't go over 24 hours, but that's still really not enough. This is great, and I'm really happy that this exists. Wuwa is putting a lot of things that help, and it's ultimately not going to affect their bottom line. Like it's not gonna kill them to give you 1 to 2 days of free time, because guess what, not even just a content creator, other people are just busy, man. Like it's just how it is, and that's great. New Resonator Showcase feature. You can display and view the convene scenes of unlocked Resonators within the Showcase feature. Tap the avatar in the terminal screen to open the Resonator Showcase to play with the 3 selected Resonators. Now, this is awesome, because one of the best things about Wuthering Waves is the gacha animation. They went pretty hard in the original betas and stuff. They look pretty good, but in this version, oh my goodness, they just started popping off. They started pulling out Jinzhou, they started pulling out freaking Xiangli, bro. Some of the best gacha animations you're gonna see. We even see a little bit of a preview of Zhezhi's animations, so that's awesome. But look at that Jinzhou animation. Oh mama, there we go. So it's basically it's your showcase screen, but you can now flex way harder with it, so that's pretty fire. Let's take a look at Zhezhi's one more time. Oh my god, that's very pretty. We only got to see a little bit of it. I'm sure we'll see the rest of it soon. But number 5, option to play at 120 FPS. Oh baby, people have been waiting for this. And just to explain, guys, it's not a privilege to be above 60% FPS or 60 FPS. Sorry, I don't know why I said percent. There are many monitors nowadays. Technology always improves where things can run much higher than 60 FPS. I'm pretty sure my monitor, which was gifted to me because someone left it behind, they're like, you know what, just keep it, can go way beyond 120 FPS and so on. So this is completely normal. Don't think it's a privilege, it's just normal. All the other games in the Hoyoverse and etc. can all run much higher than 120 FPS, but they just don't feel like it. But it's completely normal, so this is awesome, especially for the people who really enjoy their graphical quality. Will I play at 120 FPS? No, because I'm streaming, and I'm also, my computer's not that beefy. But hey, it's a great option. Always good to have options. New Depths of Elusive Realm store rewards. Okay, I haven't gotten to play the new one, but I'm already pretty content with it. So let's see what changes are around this time. So hey, thanks for playing the version 1.1, the Dream of Blazing Darkness. To help you level up more Resonators, you'll add more exchange items into the elusive store and subsequent versions of the Depths of Elusive Realm event. These event items will be available through the convene events of the second half of each version release. Okay, cool. So it's going to be at the other half. You receive a system mail reminder that exchange items are added. Please remember to exchange rewards fully before you start the Elusive Realm. Okay, so they're probably just going to add level up materials, echo level materials, etc. Just probably a little more to make sure that you can actually level up a little bit, because they're intending to make Depths of Elusive Realm permanent content, and I do like that trend. There's still some workarounds, some edges to smooth out, but for the most part, I think they're doing a good job. They're always trying to improve stuff, and this one around they're just trying to increase the rewards a little bit. So hey, that's great. More guidebook activity points from Daily Guys. With the release of 1.2, activity points spend 180 will be increased from plus 20 to plus 60. We hope this change will help you complete your daily activity points more quickly. So increase from plus 20 to plus 60. So adding more wayplates, I think it's to synchronize with this new wayplate storage system. So let's say you know, you have a bunch of leftover you know, stamina, and then you just need to sip it all up in one go. So you know, you have plus 20, so that's 200 weight plates, and then plus 60, so that's 260 weight plates. So oh yeah, no, that actually makes sense. Yeah, okay, so it's just giving you an option, so that's great. And if it just means spend 20 stamina or spend 60 stamina, hey, that's good too. Regardless, it's good, because no matter which way it goes, the lower end or the higher end, you just get more ways to clear dailies, which is great. And now the last piece of news, and I'm sure everybody is jumping out of their seat for this special note from developers. Version 1.2 in the Turquoise Moonglow is coming soon, and we'll be having the Moon Chasing Festival event dedicated to addressing any input. We're all dedicated to addressing any issues impacting your experience so far. We're well aware that weather aspects of Wuthering Wave have room to improve, and we're committed to listening to your feedback, continually optimizing and enhancing the game to be able to create a better experience of Solaris and offering more thrilling adventure. Abso-fucking-lutely. Every single time, man, you know, Wuthering Waves did have to start with a reputation of, you know, it's just like, oh, they're just desperate, oh, they're just like a cash grab, oh, you know, like, you know, they're not, their game is actually a buggy mess. No, dude, it was not like that. Things got messed up, and unfortunately they do have to pay the price in that aspect, but they are committed to improving the game. They're doing all these things, which, you know, these are not a desperation attempt to copy the game is that succeeding like HSR. This is a simple QLO change that any of the games can have. Zenless should have this feature, Genshin should have this feature, and look, they don't even have to make it as insane as HSR, which is 2,400 resin. This is simply just a little bit, you know, and they can increase it over time. It's good to have this feature regardless. It's not a desperation attempt. We're excited to announce that everyone will receive the 5-star Resonator Xiangli Yao for free in the second half version of 1.2. Stay tuned for more details and event information. Oh my goodness. So Xiangli Yao is definitely the character I had my eyes on a little more. I just kind of like his design a little more. Zhezhi's a-okay. There's nothing wrong with her, but the fact that he's free now, super excited. Who knows, maybe his sequence nodes are a little interesting, but definitely the character that I'll be taking, maybe saving for this patch. But regardless, you know, I'm very happy you know, with this update. It's truly just a whole, it's very short, but it still is all features that are super duper useful. Not even ones that I would think of, like, you know, the little gun droid that helps out with gun puzzles. That's great. Having 120 FPS, which is in the beta, so that's awesome to finally have it back. We have lock-on features continually trying to be improved, better resin system, new flexing feature, etc. It's just all good news around for Wuthering Waves, and that makes me really happy, because every single time, like I already said earlier, people always try to say, oh, you know, like they're not really improving. Dude, they are doing literally everything they can. I wish I had the other developer thing open, but I believe it's like, you know, at the bottom line, you know, if our company survives, the important thing is love the players, love the game, love the community, you know, and that's the most important about making a video. Okay, of course, always a company needs to make money is a requirement if you want to have new shiny things, but you know, making someone like Xiangli Yao free isn't gonna completely kill them. Wuthering Waves is doing pretty fine. PGR survives on way less cash, and they're still doing pretty dang okay for themselves. But yeah, this is pretty freaking awesome. Super excited for version 1.2. We will be playing Xiangli's story quest, and as well as reacting to this, and of course playing 1.2 once it drops. Of course, I have a lot of content, and the Deaths of Listen Around. There's just a lot of content for me to cover within the next few weeks. But of course, just give me time. I need to plan this out and figure out how and what order I want to do this. But of course, stay tuned, like and subscribe on my YouTube, and to attention to my community post / Twitter. That's where you can find all of the stuff. And I will also have to doing a lot of TCG stuff as well, because I just came off of the competition, so I need to actually put some stuff there. But regardless, thank you all so much for tuning in and sticking with me through this time. You know, it is how it is when I have business requirements. I have to, you know, leave the YouTube channel for a bit, and you know, I did try to plan content for it, but yeah, sometimes you just can't really do stuff like that. But regardless, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for the arrival of tomorrow.